Back here for the Week 15 NFL game picks and betting locks. We have a full slate of 16 great games this upcoming week on 4 separate days, so it should be a thrilling week of entertainment and football coming up. But first here we have to recap the Week 14 that was, and it was a dismal week for us. Started out with a heinous beat on Thursday night where the Raiders had a 16-3 lead late. Then they conceded a touchdown. We were still good, had the Raiders minus 5.5, and then they give up a 98-yard drive to Baker Mayfield and the Rams. Just can't make this stuff up. That was a horrible beat for us. The Lions then won against the Vikings, so we recovered a unit there. Then Steelers-Ravens. There were 17 points scored in this first quarter. Then Pickett goes out with a concussion, and Tyler Huntley, starter for the Ravens in this game, went out. So both teams just relied on the ground game. Steelers had 3 red zone turnovers in this game, which was horrible, and the game only amounts to 16-14, which was 30 total points, so the under hits there. Then Titans minus 3. They were controlling the game early on the ground, but then 4 turnovers proved costly for them. Jacksonville moved the ball a lot in the second half. Trevor Lawrence looked great as they win outright in Tennessee. Then Niners-Bucks. The Niners offense was just flying down the field in the first half. They almost covered this total by themselves, and the Bucks get a late touchdown to hit the over there. Then Chargers on Sunday night beat the Dolphins outright. Herbert bested Tua in that one. And then Cardinals-Patriots Monday Night Football. Kyler Murray goes out in the third play of the game, torn ACL, so that one was all she wrote. Patriots score 20 unanswered points to win the game there. So overall, this was our worst week from a betting locks perspective of the entire season. Lost 3.4 units. Still, though, on the season, up 16.8 units, which is pretty damn good. But we do need to get back to our winning ways this upcoming week and hope to do so. Game picks are still 135 and 71, good for 65%. So now we get into the Week 15 action. We've got an NFC West bout between the Niners and Seahawks. Niners can clinch the division with the win here, and I've got them doing it. I'm laying the 3 points with them on the road. This is a historically bad matchup for them. They do not perform well in Seattle or against the Seahawks, but in week 2 of this season, that game where Trey Lance broke his ankle and then Jimmy G came in, they just absolutely killed this Seahawks squad. The Seahawks' only touchdown was a blocked field goal return for a touchdown when the game was over in the second half. I think that the Niners will be able to physically dominate them as they did the Bucks, and really alarming signs in that Sunday game against the Panthers where the Seahawks were not able to run the ball given that they didn't have Kenneth Walker or DJ Dallas, but it's looking like they're not going to have those weapons available against the Niners this Thursday. Short turnaround, so they're going to have to stick to Travis Homer. I don't think he's going to get it done, so it's going to all be on Geno Smith. I think he's going to get rattled by that D-line of the Niners and not be able to do what he's been doing all year, which is be productive and have a great passer rating. So I do think that Purdy will play pretty well in this one, and I do think the Niners will win this game. Next, we get to the Saturday action where we've got the Colts at the Vikings. I see 2 horrible defenses here. Give me the Vikings to bounce back and win the game, but the lock is the over 47 in this one. I know a lot of people may be saying that the Colts offense is putrid. Why are you doing this? Well, first of all, they have been putting up a decent amount of points while Matt Ryan's been under the helm. But in addition to putting up points, they have a lot of turnovers. I think this Vikings defense will be able to generate some turnovers in this game and put up some points off those turnovers. And the Vikings offense has been potent all year. Really a down week for them last week in Detroit, only putting up 23. I think they'll put up north of 30 in this game against a leaky Colts defense. So lack of defense here in the Dome in Minnesota. I think Minnesota gets a big win here and the over hits. Next, we get to an AFC North divisional battle, and I'm going to shock some people with this pick here, but give me the Browns minus 2.5. And there's really some big questions as to who is starting for this Ravens squad. Lamar Jackson obviously went down a couple weeks back, and then you have Tyler Huntley going down with a concussion. So then you have third stringer Anthony Brown in the game against the Steelers, and he was able to close it out, but all they did was run the ball. The Browns actually have a pretty stout defense, so if it's Anthony Brown, I fully trust this Cleveland defense to shut him down, and I think it will be a very low-scoring game because Deshaun Watson has not been good with this Browns offense so far, but I think if they commit to the ground game, they will be able to win this game, although it may be ugly, so give me the Browns minus 2.5 there. Next game, we got the Falcons and the Saints, and I think this one is also going to be a very ugly game. I'll take the Saints to win, but give me the under 43. For those that do not know, Marcus Mariota has been benched, and Desmond Ridder, the rookie quarterback out of Cincinnati, will be starting this one for Atlanta. I don't think it's going to go swimmingly for him against a very elite Saints defense, so I do not think that him and the Falcons will put up even 20 points in this game. And Andy Dalton has not been good all year. I do not expect them to put up north of 24 points, so I think this is more of a 20-14 type football game. Give me the under 43 there. I think it's going to be a divisional dogfight in that one. Next, we get to the Steelers at the Panthers, and in this one, I've got to take Carolina -1.5 at home. They played great across the country in Seattle. Coming back home here, I think they get the win against a Pittsburgh team who I think they're going to be without Kenny Pickett. Many people forget that he was concussed earlier in a game against the Bucs, so this is a second concussion. Don't take that too lightly. I do not think he will play in this game, and you saw that Mitch Trubisky was not effective at all against Baltimore. Carolina has a very legit defense, so I don't think they'll be moving the ball very much. Maybe even expect Mason Rudolph to come in a relief effort, and I do not think that will end well for them at all. Panthers playing with playoff aspirations as well, as they're only one game out of that NFC South lead. So I do think that the Panthers, inspired with Sam Darnold and Steve Wilks as the interim head coach, get this win here. Next game, we get to the Eagles at Chicago, and give me the over 48 here. No, this game is being played in Chicago, but the weather report has this game as sunny and low wind in Chicago, 30 degrees. But I think that these two offenses will light it up in this one. Eagles put up 48 against the Giants, so that alone would have nearly covered this total by themselves. And Chicago's defense is not much better than New York's. And then you've got the Bears coming off of a bye. I think they'll have some tricks up their sleeve. Justin Fields has been very effective this season, and the Eagles have been able to give up some points. So I do think that this is a blowout win for the Eagles, but I think the Bears get some points in their own right. So give me the over 48 points there. Next game, we get to the afternoon slate, and we've got the Patriots at the Raiders. Two teams going in opposite directions after last week. Raiders, horrible loss, and Patriots, great win. But in this one, I'm giving Josh McDaniels the win against his former team. I do think that the Raiders bounce back from an emotional loss. They are coming off of a long week at home here. Patriots coming off of a short week and a road trip out west. I do not think this bodes well because I'm just not a believer in Mac Jones and this Matt Patricia play-calling offense. I do not think that they will be very effective, even against this Raiders defense who have looked a bit inconsistent at times. I think that Derek Carr will play a lot better than last week against LA in that primetime spot where they really got embarrassed. So I think that this Raiders team, not fully out of the playoffs yet, I think they will fight hard for this one and give a good performance. Plus 100 on the money line there, good value. I think they get the dub. Next game, we get to the Commanders hosting the Giants. Both teams 7-5-1, as you know, played a couple weeks ago, and it was a tie. Went the full 70 minutes there. In this one, I think the Commanders win it. I'm taking them -3.5 points. The Giants just playing horrible football right now. They were 7-2, and they have not won a game since. And the Commanders, coming off of the bye, I think they're going to play inspired football. Taylor Heineke, I just think he's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones at this moment. I think just the morale is higher within the Commanders because they were a 1-4 team and have battled back all that way. Getting healthy right now. Give me Washington at home. Then we get to a Monday night matchup where we have the Rams at the Packers, and I was baffled when I saw this spread. Give me the Rams getting a full 8 points, even though it's on the road here. The Packers are coming off of the bye, but the Rams had a long week in their own right, getting that Thursday night win. I think that Baker getting this start with all of that extra preparation is going to be very good for him. I do not think he's the player that we saw in the last couple of minutes, but I don't think he's as bad as he showed in Carolina at some points this season. This Packers defense has been very inconsistent all season, so they will give up a fair amount of points. I don't expect the Rams to win this game. I still got the Packers winning, but give me the Rams to keep it close, at least within one possession. 8 points here is a lot, so give me the primetime dog there on Monday night. So with that being said, let me know what your guys' predictions are this upcoming week. Do you agree with my predictions, or are you fading me? As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.